Good morning.
Good morning, Dr. Starcevich.
How are you? Sophia, right?
Yes, good.
Nice to see you. So tell me a little bit about yourself. You're 10 years old, is that right?
Yes,
Okay, and you're going to be playing a Nocturne by Clara Schumann today, right?
yes.
How long have you studied this piece?
Maybe about 2 months or
Oh,
so.
okay. Good, good. Well, I'm looking forward to hearing you play. So whenever you're ready, you just go right ahead. Okay? Very beautiful. Yeah. Very beautifully played. And you play like someone who's older than 10, which is great too. I mean, it's good to be 10, but you play very beautifully like someone that may be older, like you've lived a long time. Have you lived a long time? No, just 10 years, right? But that's good. I really enjoyed it very much. And I have to tell you, I've only heard this piece once a long time ago, and I had forgotten about it. So I'm glad you played it for me today because it's a beautiful piece, don't you think?
Yes.
Yeah. What do you like about it? Show me something that is your favorite about it. Something that's you think about as
Maybe it has a lot of emotion in it. It's a lot of happiness. Like maybe yeah.
you can put if you like you can put the music because we'll work on it. So you could put your yeah.
Maybe it has a lot of melody in it.
It does. And the melody, what is the melody doing at that point? What is the feeling of the melody at that point?
Um, like I feel like, do you mean like happy or sad?
Yeah, like something like that. What do you think?
Hopeful?
Say again?
Hopeful?
Hopeful. Hey, that's great. That's right. You know, it's funny. Sometimes when I ask my students, some students, I say, what do you feel? Do you think this is, what's the feeling here? Happy. What do you think this feeling is? Sad. What do you think this is? Happy, sad. How many people do you know that just feel happy or sad all their life?
Uh,
Not many, right? I mean, some days we can wake up, we can feel hopeful, like you just said, or we can feel joyful, or we can feel angry, or we can feel tired, or we could feel lonely, or we could feel hurt, or we could feel wounded or offended, or we could feel elated or whatever, right? Lots of different things. That's the wonderful thing about feelings. And feelings, the one special thing about them, right, is they're not like thoughts. They're not really real. They're real when we're feeling them. But the most important thing is they come and then they go, right? Usually, like if you feel a certain way, after a little while, you feel differently, right?
yes.
Right. So for romantic music like this is romantic music, the feelings change quite quickly, right? So one minute we're calm, and then we're more excited, and then we're hopeful, and all these things. So when we're playing it, do you kind of plan out what you're going to feel, or do you feel something because you played a certain note or did something? What do you think?
Maybe you kind of go along with the music.
Right. So it's not like you have a plan, right? Not really. You can be creative, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So at the beginning, what do you think? How do you feel? I certainly feel differently on that note, don't I?
Yes.
Right. So let's hear the beginning again, and let me see if I can guess what you're feeling. Okay. So a according to the music, right, I would think, and the way you played it, you played this, and then you softened a little bit, right? So I felt that you felt happy and calm at the beginning, just calm, kind of relaxed, and then something troubled you. Something started to worry you a little bit. And then you really worried about it a lot around here. And then you kind of figured, well, I can't do much about it, so I'm going to not worry about it and let it go. Was that about right? Okay. So you see, that's the game. Do you know, have you ever heard of a composer named Mendelssohn?
Yes.
Okay, so Mendelssohn was a friend of Clara Schumann and Robert Schumann. And so Mendelssohn had this fun game he would play with his sister. His sister was also a composer, Fanny Mendelssohn, right? And so the children, both children played instruments. They played violin and piano and everything. And Felix Mendelssohn, the boy, right, he would go out and he would do things outside. And Fanny was inside the house. And they used to play this game where Felix would come back into the house and he would sit at the piano and he would make something up. He'd just start playing, right? And Fanny would listen to him and she would have to guess what he did while he was gone. He would try to make music up to make her guess what he did. You know, so I don't know what that must have been like, but if he was playing ball with his friends or whatever, maybe he did this, you know, or whatever, right? And she would have to guess. Isn't that kind of cool?
Yes.
That's kind of fun. So when we perform this music, it's fun to make the audience guess what we did or what we're thinking or what we're feeling, right? So I want you to play the phrase one more time, okay? And then we're going to work on it. But I want you to just think about that once more and see if you can make it very, very clear so that we can easily guess what the feeling is, okay? Good. Beautiful. Okay, what I loved most was the way you softened and the way you used your arm. Obviously, you have a good teacher that tells you to relax on those long notes, and that makes the sound beautiful. I'm going to make some suggestions. So, at the very beginning, right, you can't really reach these notes, right, to play them legato. Right? Right. And probably neither could Clara. And neither can I, right? So if all three of us can't reach those notes, then what do we do? Do you think she meant for us to reach them? Probably not, right? So when we see a phrase like that, right, we have to ask ourselves, why, if Clara already wrote a slur over the notes, why did she also write legato, the word? What do you think?
Maybe she means to use the pedal to just keep everything really smooth.
You're right on the right track. So, meaning sometimes when a composer writes the word legato and it's obvious that she wants it connected, then maybe she meant to connect it with your ear too, not just with your fingers, right? So part of what I want to do is get more relaxed on the first note. So what I would do, I suggest, is don't worry about holding it at all. I would actually play it beautifully with your wrist so we get this feeling. Like little gongs down there, tender. So what you can do, play the note and then shift. think as long as you keep your elbow and your wrist really loose and just sneak right up, your sound will be even more legato. Right, and the nice thing about that, okay, I think you're pretty smart too, so you could probably do this very easily. We can experiment, okay? When you release this note, use finger 2 instead of 1. Right, and on the last A, instead of using a 2 on this last note, use finger 1 and then release and go back down. Yeah. Good. Now, let's reduce the amount of time in between the bottom note and the next note. So it's 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and so that it feels more even, like we're not taking any time. Right. So that's a lot to change, I know, right? But the reason I changed it is so that we feel that the music is going forward, that we don't stop on those bottom notes, right? And when the right hand comes in, I think you'll be even freer, okay? So in measure 7, do you have measure numbers?
Yes.
Okay, so when are we supposed to play these? Like, is there a certain place we have to play them? When can we start them?
The like, I guess it started the C on the left hand, so.
Right, do you feel a little bit rushed when you play those notes?
Sometimes I have to slow them down.
Right, or you just have to kind of spread them. You have to stretch them. You know, have you ever had a rubber band in your hand and you pull it?
Yes.
Right? And then you pull it and you're like, gee, I wonder when it's going to break. You don't want it to break because it'll hurt your hand, right? It'll snap. But that place where you're pulling the rubber band and you're like, ooh, this feels really nice and stretched, but I'm not breaking it, right? So if we pull it too fast, it doesn't feel the same, does it? Right? So what we want to do here is take our time. So make these more like you're singing them. Take time to really hear them crescendo to the high note, okay? Good, yeah. And then, why does he put 2 little dots? Sorry, Clara. Why does she put 2 little dots there, do you think?
To lift them up a little bit.
Yeah, and what does that do to the sound? How does that change the sound of those notes?
More happy, I guess. Like up a little bit.
And I think they also become lighter and softer, right? So we took a lot of energy. So when we're breathing, sometimes when we're tired, we go like this. What's that called?
Right?
Sighing. So those 2 notes, sighing, you see? So that it feels, oh, it's so beautiful. I'm so relaxed. I'm tired. Whatever. I'm lonely. Whatever you want to feel, but that they're lighter and more soft and tender. Okay? So let's go from measure 7 and see if you can get that change. That's right. Yeah. Now, when we go on, let's keep going and let's see what else she does to help change the mood. Okay, so let's hear the next part. Maybe another 8 bars. Good. Ooh, there's lots of good stuff here to work on, right? There's lots of fun things that are in the score. So when we have this, what does accent mean on that G? Like, what does it actually mean? To play louder, do you think? Or
Put more force into it.
well, I mean, accent just means something special. That's all. Play the note special. Play it differently than the other notes. So it doesn't have to be louder. It doesn't have to be softer. It can be anything you want. What do you think makes sense? When we have this is very painful, this note, right? We're very sad. So is this note. Those are more relaxed. See? Those notes together, right? It's a very kind of sad sound. So feel that note like it's very, very special. How would you do it? Beautiful. Right. And then the most special place, I think, right here. Right? That's so unexpected. That's a big surprise. Like a secret, like a whisper. Do you use the soft pedal there?
No.
You can try, right? Just put it right on for measure 18. And even though it says legato, remember when a composer writes legato, we have to make it sound legato. But the sound is so soft and tender that we don't want to play too deep in the key or it'll be too loud, right? So just kind of tickle the key with your finger. Just tickle. Beautiful. That's it. Yeah. Okay. Now comes the next part. Is this the same type of sound in the right hand now, or is it something different goes on? What's different about it?
Maybe in this new section it might be more. Maybe it's more into like mad.
Why do you say that? I'm always curious to know. Why do you think?
It sounds like it's getting really loud and soft.
Good. Okay, that's nice. So here it starts soft though, doesn't it? Right?
Yes.
Uh-huh. And those double stems, you see this? Why do you think she wrote those with 2 stems? What does that tell you?
Bring them out.
Yeah, and actually it's a hidden melody. If you took away all the busy notes, you would have this. That's all, right? So all the busy notes in between, those are like just little vibrations. Try to make those sound very, very soft and gentle, and you can still have crescendos, but make sure they don't sound like the main melody notes. Do you see what I mean? Like decorations. Right, good, nice. This so the staccato's there and the word rubato, resoluto, excuse me. That means that those are the forceful notes. Those are the dramatic notes, right? And if you take a little bit of time to bounce so that those are like bells, and then lighter after that. Let's see if we can do it. Good. Now, let's hear the next phrase and see what other interesting new things she does. Let's hear. Okay, so what are the decorations in measure 36? What are the decorating notes? Right, yeah. So if we played them without, can you play them once without just the melody? A little tricky, isn't it? Right? You're not used to it. So pretend she didn't write those notes. Let's make it just as beautiful. So maybe start more and go to this note and then soften. Okay? Good. Now when you put the decorations in, make them really sound like decorations, like little echoes, not so heavy. Keep going. Beautiful. That's your right hand is beautiful there. Now, let's take a look at what's different in measure 39 up until measure 47. Let's see what's different. Something in the left hand is different. Right. So what is different? What is the special part in the left hand?
May it start to have like a melody like
Exactly, right. So let's think about how we would play that. Beautiful, right? Those rising notes. Have you ever tried it with two hands?
No?
Try it. You think you could do that and play the bottom notes very legato and the right hand very soft? Right, good. Now, can you make it sound the same way with just one hand? Not as easy, right? It's not as easy to do. But it's great to practice it with two hands so you can hear what it sounds like when you can control every note here. So usually when you play it with the right hand, you wouldn't do this. You wouldn't crescendo to those groups, right? So you would. So think about using your hand that way. Drop, relax in groups, and use your elbow and your wrist to fall into the bottom notes more so you can control them. Right. And now put the right hand with it and let's hear a real duet so both hands are singing beautifully. Beautiful. Yeah. So those are all ways that when you're learning it and you're playing it already as beautiful as you do, these differences, right? Every time a new phrase comes, something's different, something special. Those are the things to highlight, right? Makes the music more beautiful. So let's go on just a little bit more. We're almost, our time is up. But I want to work on the little bit faster middle section just for a minute. So do you want to just get into that maybe and play a little bit of it? Good. Okay. So question. If they were all legato, we would probably play, right? We would make a crescendo like it says, but we would crescendo with each note in the group. But because the dots are there, we don't crescendo with each group, right? We just think of up like a dance, right? So this is more dancing. You see that? So try to think of the flow, the little bit of that dance. So much lighter on these and maybe more up motion on the eighth notes, okay? Let's try. Yeah. Those chords are hard, huh? Are your hands big?
I can't always reach them very well.
You can't, the chords, right? So why do you think she wrote all those extra notes? Just to make it hard? Just to make our lives difficult? What does it do to the music, do you think?
Maybe keep that rhythm of like dun 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 dun.
Right, but then she also says ritenuto, you could slow down near the end of it. But it takes a little time. Right? Those quick rolls, they go somewhere and they go to the melody into the top, right? So that we hear. So you can take a little bit of time so that you don't feel hurried, but you should still roll the chord very quickly and bring out the thumb of the left. You want to just try the left hand? That's right. Yeah. So if you control those melody notes in the left hand, then it'll naturally just make you play a little bit less fast, right? So you have time to hear all those notes. Okay. Well, I hate to say we're out of time. I'm sorry the time went so fast, but you're very, very fine young lady. Fine player already. Yeah, wonderful. So I hope you keep working hard and keep up the music.
Thank you.
Yeah, so congratulations. Nice to meet you and hear you play.
Bye.
Bye bye.